Welcome back to the Azura Media Club, home of the Bad Girl Coven. I'm your Coven leader, Emily, and today we're talking about... Wait, why are we talking about 30 minutes or less, you ask? You're like, what's the significance? Why? What's the significance? I don't know! Uh, from my favorite movie there. Anyway, why 30 minutes or less? Well, I decided whenever I don't have anything else that I want to urgently review or isn't part of a series that I'm reviewing or something, I'm gonna just go right back to the beginning of my collection and go all the way through in alphabetical order. And sometimes it won't be in exact alphabetical order because I have stuff stacked on top of things, but I'm gonna try and keep it as consistent as possible. Maybe I'll review the stuff on the top at the end or something. Anyway, 30 minutes or less is at the beginning of the collection there because it is a numbered movie. So I have, well, I don't want to spoil what the next ones would be. But anyway, numbered movies are at the beginning. So if you can think of numbered movies, maybe you would think of what I could do next. Or, I think I've mentioned maybe the other movie that will probably be next. It'll be a stark departure from this one, I'll tell you that much. This is a comedic movie. This is from 2010 or 11, I believe. Let's see. It's a Jesse Eisenberg movie, which you probably already knew. Maybe. If you haven't seen this, you might not have known that then. I don't know. It's like 2010 or 11. I remember we went to see it in theaters. It's one of those movies that, like Tropic Thunder or something. It's like they play it a million times, the advertisements for it, and, you're just like, I'll go see that. Why not? Nowadays they play it and it's really annoying whenever they do like a million advertisements. And it's like, back then we definitely went and saw a lot of Jesse Eisenberg movies. We saw like Adventureland, Zombieland, all the lands, He was kind of on top of the world back then. He was a pretty solid actor until he fucked up in Batman vs. Superman there. Wouldn't say that's necessarily his fault. I mean, you offered the role of Lex Luthor, you'd probably take it. You might have done a better job, though, is all I'm saying. So he kind of fell off at some point, but... Anyway, 30 minutes or less is a divisive movie amongst my friends. Half of us like it, and half of us don't. Myself, Banana, and John Black, I believe, like it, and then Jameson and Nick didn't like it or something. I don't remember about Mayab. I don't remember if he's seen it or not. So... Anyway, it's got Jesse Eisenberg, well, yeah, you can see on the cover there, Danny McBride, Nick Swartzen, Aziz Ansari there, a couple other people like that. Michael Pena, who's a funny guy. I like him. I like his role in this movie as like the what is he, the crazy guy, like the crazy dude who needs the money to kill the guy. He's the assassin, basically. So the whole premise of the movie, and apparently this is based on a real thing. I don't know how true that is, but the whole premise of the thing is that they strap a bomb to Jesse Eisenberg's character, Danny McBride, and Nick Swartzen there. But Jesse Eisenberg's character is also called Nick, so that's his name in the movie. So Nick, in the movie, our main character, has a bomb strapped to him. Danny McBride and Nick Swartzen, I can't remember their names in the movie. I just watched this thing, like I should remember that, but, anyway. So, they are trying to kill Danny McBride's dad to be able to inherit this money that he has. He won it big at the lottery or whatever, and he's just been blowing all this money, and Danny McBride's really pissed off about that. So, he's at this strip club, and he's like talking to this girl, and she's like, well, I know this guy who could do it, maybe for like $100 grand, basically, and so they got to figure out how to come up with $100 grand. So they make this idea to go rob a bank, but they don't want to rob the bank because that implicates them and whatnot. So they get the idea, since they know how to build bombs and stuff, they'll strap a bomb to a guy to rob the bank for them. And then they're trying to figure out who they're gonna get that's not connected to them, and they're like, oh, we'll get a pizza guy. So that's where, our character comes in, Nick there. Um, so yeah, so he gets strapped to this bomb, and him and Chet, his roommate, and Zari's character, Aziz Ansari. That's such a like AA, I'm like Z. I'm at the end, like anyway. But I'm also in the middle somewhere, but like anyway. So their characters were fighting, their roommates or whatever. Like Nick slept with his sister in high school or some shit, and he still really likes her, and she's a character in the movie too, Kate. I don't remember her name, but I can't remember Danny McBride's name and the other guy. Anyway, so so yeah, they strap this bomb to him, and they're like, hey, go rob a bank, get us our $100,000, and I'm like, I'm just explaining the plot. There's a lot of like funny lines and stuff in between. That's the charm of the movie, I feel like, is just all of the funny stuff. That's what a comedy is about, right? Is all the funny lines that strew together the plot, rather than the plot itself. The plot itself is also humorous at times, when it takes devious little turns, but it also kind of works as like a suspenseful thing, because he's got this bomb strapped to his chest the whole time. So it's kind of like funny. The tone is definitely funny, but there's also like this element to it where it's like suspenseful in a sense. And I'm not saying this is like a grand piece of cinema or anything. It's it's a fun, just like little distraction movie, and I like that kind of thing from time to time. And it's only an hour and a half long. I mean, that is the perfect length, especially for a comedy. I throw this on in the background a lot, and I mean, not anymore as much, but like I used to, back in the day when I was like playing games and stuff, I'd just like throw it in, and it's just a fun little movie to watch on the side. But anyway, so yeah, where was I at in this whole thing? So Danny McBride's character wants to open this like tanning salon, and it's like this front for this prostitution ring, thing, and that's why they need this money, I guess. So it's like this stupid reason, but like whatever. That's what he wants to do. So Jesse Eisenberg and his friend, like, they go to the Dollar General to like buy airsoft guns and like ski masks and all this stuff for the thing, and the lady's like, oh, this is what people usually buy when they're gonna rape somebody, and then they're like, no, we're not doing that, we're not into that, we're just into sliders. They put like a slider stand down there, a lot of cute like 2010s humor. I don't know if they could get away with that joke now, like stuff like that, but maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know what movies are like these days. I don't go and see comedies anymore. This is when I was in like high school or college or something. Late high school, so like this was like perfectly marketed for me then. But it's just a fun movie, as it goes along, like the plot thickens, like they go and rob the bank, and there's a bunch of antics there. They like put on fake names and stuff. They like get out of the bank there, and like a cop is like, freeze, drop your weapons, and he's like, you just brought a gun to a bomb fight, and it's like, oh shit. And the cop's just like, oh man, fuck this shit. He throws his gun down and just runs away. And there's like a car chase and stuff, like all stuff like that. It's the typical thing, but they'll make fun of it with like, they're like, I don't know how to rob a bank, and he's like, you see Point Break? It's like a bank robbing guide, shit like that. It's like typical humor, but it's funny. I like it. There's a lot of antics back and forth about the money, and like, do this drop here. Oh, but he didn't have the code. Stuff like that. And by the end, like the hitman is like super pissed at the Danny McBride character, and he like wants to go after him and kill him and whatever, instead of his dad, even though he does end up killing his dad, although his dad like shoots him with a pen gun. He's like from the Marines or whatever, so I guess those people just carry pen guns on them. So but Yeah, a lot of antics with that. There's like a standoff at the end where they're like, they like take the girl, which is Chet's sister, um, and like, he had gone to her earlier, like telling her like, oh, you know, I'm still in love with you and all of this stuff, and like, I wish we could still be together, but I got this fucking bomb strapped to me. He doesn't say that part, but he like, that's kind of the implication. He's like, I don't have any time. I don't have time to talk right now. I gotta go, basically, because they gotta go rob this bank or whatever. So, but at the end there, they're like in a standoff. He's got like a flamethrower pointed at them, and they're like, um, they've like got the money, or they've got the girl. He's got the money. They like hand it off, and then they're ready to like shoot them and burn their bodies. But then this laser pointer that he gave Chet, because Chet's a teacher, so he gave him like a laser pointer. Like he puts that on him like it's a sniper or something, and ends up getting away. And but like what's great is he gets away with the money, and so Danny McBride goes chasing after him. But then he actually reactivated the bomb because he gave him the code to unactivate the bomb. He reactivated the bomb, put it in the back of Danny McBride's van there. It just blows up as he's chasing after him. They get away with the money. But as if earlier in the bake scene too, they do this as a joke. But there's those die packs and that stuff. And then at the end of the movie, they're like, this money's gonna change my life. They're talking about it. And it's like. He's like, Sandra! Which is like the teller that was helping him out earlier or whatever, so. Yeah. Shit like that. It's just funny. I don't know. It's, like I said, it's not high art. They have some pretty decent, like, visual effects a couple of times, It's not like a high budget movie or anything. It's what you would expect from a Jesse Eisenberg, like, comedy movie. Pretty good. Pretty on par. The cast makes it funny. They're all, pretty good actors. But yeah, I don't really have that many complaints about the movie either. I know some people, like I said, don't like it, like half of my friend group. That's like the most notable thing to say about it, I suppose. But I think it's a fun movie, and I think it's a fun Jesse Eisenberg movie. I like most of his movies. Again, other than Batman vs. Superman, I don't think I've seen him in anything that's like bad. Like, I pretty much enjoy most of his movies except for that one, so that I've seen anyway. I mean, I'm sure he's in a couple bad movies here or there at some point that I'm just not thinking of, but he's one of those actors, he's pretty safe as a choice to like one of his movies is probably going to be pretty good, so I don't know, we'll have to review some more of his movies in the future, because I do definitely have some, like I said, like Adventureland, all the lands there and all that, so I'm looking over there. I'm trying to see if I have any others. I don't know. There's probably some over there I'm not even looking at. But yeah, this movie, good. The soundtrack's all right. It's got some hits in there. It's tense when it needs to be, I suppose. Overall, like, the setup and the entire premise is a pretty good premise. I think they executed on it pretty well. It's got a nice feel as a movie, I like it. It's funny when it needs to be. It's like serious when it kind of needs to be. Not like super serious ever. It's always backed with some comedy, because it is a comedy at the end of the day. But having a bomb strapped to a guy's chest, that's kind of serious at a lot of times. So yeah. But overall, it's pretty cool. I like it. It's a good movie. I'm gonna give it an 8.8 out of 10. I recommend it. Pretty funny. Just like, I don't want to say like a turn your brain off kind of movie, because it's not necessarily that, but it's just like, you don't have to put a lot of effort into thinking about it. This isn't like Batman or something. You don't have to like, you just kind of watch the thing and you have a good time, and that's it, and that's nice to have. I like movies like that sometimes. They gotta do it right though. Some things are really stupid when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I guess I'm a picky sometimes with that, but I don't know. I feel like this is the kind of movie where it executes on that premise pretty well. So, anyways, this has been Emily. Stick around, subscribe to join the Bad Girl Coven, and I'll see you in the next one. Never forget, magic comes from the heart. Emily